Hello everyone, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. My name is Brianna and this is going to be another daily energy report where I use a combination of astrology and tarot to break down the energy of the day, check for potential challenges and liabilities, and channel advice on how we can best navigate this energy. I'm going to start with the astrology and then I'm going to get into some tarot and maybe some oracle card decks as well. But today's energy sets the tone for the rest of the week. So let's see if we can get into it, dissect it, and see if we can find the path of least resistance into the future. Today is October 1st, 2025. Happy October, everyone. We are officially in Libra season, and we have the sun in Libra, of course, and the moon in Capricorn. We're going to get into it and dissect the energies of the sun and moon, and then we'll talk about some other significant aspects as well. So some of the other aspects that I wanted to talk about are Chiron retrograde in Aries, squaring the moon. So this is going to bring tension, conflict, and maybe even some harsh lessons from the wounded warrior to our moon. We have Lilith in Scorpio and sextile to the moon. So this is going to be feeling supported by a deep desire for liberation, sovereignty, fairness, and fulfillment, and a focus on how we can bring these energies to ourselves. We have Mercury in Libra squaring the moon. Mercury is our higher wisdom, or it's our connection to our higher selves, higher wisdom, and divinity. Squaring the moon feels like Mercury is going to have a hard time getting wisdom, data, information, enlightenment to us if we're too distracted by the moon, right? So higher wisdom and clarity may have a hard time reaching us if we're distracted. So what we want to do is reach for whatever this is that Mercury is trying to give to us, deliver to us. In one of my last readings, I talked about how our higher selves is going to be meeting us where we are to deliver us some new information. This new information is going to be about a path forward. So we have to, or we want to, align to meet with Mercury. The last aspect that we're going to talk about is Uranus and Gemini trining the sun. Uranus brings a bit of good luck and spiritual support. In Gemini, it's going to be through communication, right? If Mercury is the well source energy, right? Divine wisdom, then Gemini is going to be like the runner, the messenger that delivers the information. So Uranus and Gemini is like lightning information, enlightening information, trining the sun. Yeah, this is a silver lining opportunity. Silver lining opportunity in all of this chaos. This energy, Uranus and Gemini, is wanting to or trying to facilitate positive change, get us some information that's going to send us in a new direction. So the moon is in its first quarter phase. The first quarter moon is when the moon is about 50% illuminated and we're halfway through a moon cycle. So the intentions that were set, whether we set them consciously or unconsciously during the new moon phase, those intentions are manifesting now, right? They're loading, they're in progress. And our job at this phase is to stay in alignment with those intentions and see them through to the culmination point, which is going to be at the full moon in Aries on October 6th. So if we work with these moon cycles intentionally, I just want to say that moon cycles can indeed be used for growth, ascension, and manifestation, but it's a process. It's a step-by-step process. And within each cycle is an opportunity to identify, untangle, and overcome those internal obstacles that prevent and distort our external manifestations. So when using the moon cycles for growth, expansion, evolution, transformation, manifestation, keep in mind that it's a process and you will ascend, but you ascend one step at a time, right? Like climbing a ladder. If you work with the moon cycles intentionally, by the end of each cycle, you will have integrated the results of your efforts. So the wisdom and the experience you gained when you were in the moon or going through the lessons of the moon, those are your rewards that you get to take with you, carry with you into a new cycle. It's like more tools for your toolbox, more tools of self-awareness and maturity and growth internal, right? That you can take with you. So we're moving towards the culmination point. We're moving towards the full moon, and we're halfway there. But as the moon gets full, so do our emotions. The moon is an energy storehouse or an energetic storehouse. It's our yin realm. It's our internal realm, the realm that we can't see, but we can feel it. This realm connects us to spirit, and it holds our mental and emotional energies, our memories, our feelings, and our instinctual responses. I feel like that's a big one. That's an important one, because those instinctual responses, reactions, those energies or those patterns can misguide us or lead us down a path that is further away from where we truly desire to be. And the moon is the bridge that our manifestations or our soul's aspirations have to cross over to reach the sun for revelation. Even in the tarot, the order is the moon and then the sun. The moon connects us to the spiritual realm, right? So that's how our spirit communicates with us, through our emotions and our instincts. So when spirit wants to send us something, whether it be a download or insight or a new idea, right? A creative idea, it's going to have to send this communication through the moon, and then that energy is going to mix with our moon energies, and then it's expressed through the sun. So if our moon energies are unmonitored, unruly, or unkept, then our manifestations and our aspirations, this wisdom from our higher selves, it either gets drowned out by heavy emotional energies or heavy moon energies before they can be expressed, or they are expressed, but they're expressed in a way that's been distorted by our subconscious emotional energies. So we're challenged by staying the course. We're challenged by staying hopeful, staying optimistic, and aligned with our intention. We may start out very hopeful, very optimistic, but as we reach this halfway point and our emotions start to get fuller as well, this is where a lot of us, we get dragged down, we get misdirected, pessimistic. We have these internal liabilities, these internal emotional liabilities. They're testing us. They're testing our resolve and our commitment to what it is that we're manifesting. They might even be threatening it, or there's a possibility, a real possibility of just getting sidetracked or overwhelmed by heavy emotional energies. The key here, I feel like the key is self-awareness, right? Becoming aware of yourself, acknowledging what you feel and how you're reacting to those feelings. When you feel lack, when you feel insecurity, will you let those feelings stop you or derail you, or will you continue to push through, push forward, right? Over the hump, up the mountain. So these hidden energies, this internal resistance, these are all real liabilities at this point. It's a critical point. So there's potential for growth, expansion, and transformation here, but we may have to do some emotional alchemy. I'm seeing the Three of Cups. Emotional alchemy, creating a good mix, a harmonious mix of emotional energies. I'm also getting like temperance energy, balancing out, mediating our internal energies so that we're not heavily distracted or just getting dragged down or misguided by our own internal emotional energies. So we've got the moon in Capricorn, right? A first quarter moon in Capricorn. Capricorn is the goat, G-O-A-T, the greatest of all time. Capricorn is one of the elders in astrology. Capricorn has grown and learned through adversity. Capricorn has a lot of experience. The highest expression of Capricorn energy is ascended, initiated, and mature. He's the last of the earth signs. He's an elder, right? Capricorn is grounded, stable, and very capable. Capricorn is level-headed, precise, and sure-footed. If you think about the goat, an actual goat, the goat ascends the mountain one step at a time, and before the goat takes that next step, it makes sure that its footing is true. The goat doesn't rush. Capricorn doesn't rush. Capricorn succeeds by, I'm getting the Knight of Pentacles now. Capricorn succeeds by taking grounded, well-planned, and practical steps towards its goal. So the Knight of Pentacles is also initiated, right? All of the pentacles are initiated because they've been through all of the dimensions, the wands, the cups, and the swords. It's a level of maturity. So the Knight of Pentacles is also ascended, initiated, and mature. He knows what he's doing. A lot of people say that the Knight of Pentacles is like one of the slowest moving knights in the deck. And it's true, because the Knight of Pentacles doesn't have to rush. He has the plan. He has the master plan. So he's implementing, he's practicing, he's reworking the ideas until he achieves his goal. I feel like Capricorn isn't only the Knight of Pentacles. Capricorn may be the King of Pentacles as well. I feel like all of the cards in the tarot are connected. It's just one being morphing and transforming into, or aligning with different aspects of itself to win the game, right? Esoterically, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the Lord of Karma, and Saturn insists that we show up for the tests. We have to show up for Saturn's tests. Saturn will keep presenting us with the same tests until we pass them, until we ace them. We're going to have to show up for these tests. Saturn makes us stand up straight. Saturn is the father, right? So he's about like discipline, commitment, and establishing order. Saturn encourages us to overcome adversity, to earn our reward, to earn our manifestation. Saturn makes us work for it. So in the traditional astrology, Capricorn is linked to, big business and career, work, entrepreneurship. It's the social ladder, right? The social hierarchy. It's government rules and regulations and stuff like that. But esoterically, the mountain that Capricorn ascends is the internal mountain, the mountain of consciousness. And when you think about it, going back to the tarot, the Queen of Pentacles comes before the King of Pentacles. And if the King of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, initiated, mature, and a go-getter, right? The doer. Capricorn is the one who brings home the bacon. He brings home the Ten of Pentacles. So before we get to the King of Pentacles, we have to integrate the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen is a feminine energy. She's going to do most of her work internal. The Queen of Pentacles is also initiated because she too has had to go through all of the suits to get to where she is. So she has the wisdom, she has the knowledge, she has the skill, she knows the lay of the land, she is an expert. The Queen of Pentacles is also, I feel like she's a Virgo, and Virgo energy talks about purifying for optimal health. So the Queen of Pentacles does a lot of alchemy, a lot of internal alchemy. She knows how to ascend the mountain, and she gives that information, or once she ascends the mountain, she transforms into the King of Pentacles, and she puts that wisdom, that experience into action, and she brings home the bacon or the Ten of Pentacles. Don't get caught up in gender, like male, female, masculine, feminine. I feel like when we work with the tarot, it's us, right? We are, I think I said it, transforming, shape-shifting, aligning, integrating these different aspects of ourselves, all the way from the Fool up to the King of Pentacles, right? Where were we? So Capricorn alchemizes and aligns its internal energies. I think it's so appropriate that Capricorn is the sea goat, because the sea is going to be those internal energies. So Capricorn alchemizes its internal energies, and the outward expression of that is his ability to navigate the physical world and the internal world, and he creates abundance and success, right? The 10 of Pentacles. So the moon is in Capricorn. When the moon is with Capricorn, Capricorn's natural ambition can turn into pessimism. Moon energy slows Capricorn down. If Capricorn, so Capricorn is the energy that Mercury is trying to get to us, right? Mercury is trying to pass us this baton of Capricorn energy, where we put our ideas into action and move ourselves over the hump or a little bit higher up the mountain. Remember that our higher selves, or these higher dimensions, communicate with us through the moon. So Mercury is sending this Capricorn energy through the moon, but it's slowed down. The moon slows it down because the heavy energies of the moon are weighing on Capricorn, right? Weighing it down, maybe playing on its confidence and its commitment to its goal. So instead of putting ideas into action, Capricorn procrastinates and maybe even becomes confused about whether the idea is a good idea to begin with. It's easy to get swept away in these moon energies, especially when our reactions are automatic. So the key here is awareness. Like Neo in the Matrix, right? Neo is highly aware of himself. So the key here is self-awareness. Self-awareness shatters the illusion of feeling trapped, stuck, or like you're not in control, because you are in control. So monitor your moon energies, pay attention to what you feel and how you react to those feelings. I feel like it's important. And this isn't about stopping or controlling your emotional reactions. I feel like it's more about just observing them and maybe guiding them towards a higher and more mature expression. So the moon square Chiron, let's get into this aspect. This is a challenging one. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Chiron represents a significant soul wound, and there are multiple dimensions and layers to this Chiron wound. The wound is different, unique, and deeply personal for each of us. It can be more intense for some of us, and then others of us can barely notice it. So there are varying degrees, varying dimensions, and I feel like we never fully heal this wound. I feel like this wound is a part of our DNA makeup, and I feel that way because I've been channeling with Ascendant Master Jesus a lot lately, and when you just think about the trauma that Jesus suffered, that trauma, it cut him so deeply that it was ingrained in his soul, right? It's a part of him. Even today, we still talk about the trauma and betrayal of Jesus. That wound, that's his Chiron wound, it's with him, and those who are descendants of Jesus as well, they carry this deep internal wound in their DNA. So we carry our Chiron wound with us throughout lifetimes, and we work with it by becoming more aware of it and becoming more considerate of it. Maybe in future timelines we'll have alchemized this wound completely and it'll no longer show up in our DNA, but that hasn't been my experience as of yet, right? So Chiron can be a major liability if we're not aware of how our bodies react and respond when this wound is triggered. So again, I feel like it's extremely important, not important, it's crucial. Not crucial, it's like preliminary, like the foundation, right? We have to become intimately familiar with not only Chiron, but our moon energies, just ourselves in general, and how we are being led and guided by our emotional energies. Remember, our emotional realm, our internal realm, there are varying degrees, various dimensions. There are lower dimensions and there are higher dimensions. Sometimes we just like to block out those lower dimensions and not think about them or interact with them. But that's where those wounded aspects of ourselves reside, right? Our inner child, aspects of our wounded inner child, they're in those lower dimensions. And we want to ascend them. We can't move on without them. Otherwise, we become fragmented, right? With parts of ourselves in lower dimensions, and we're trying to ascend in higher dimensions. We can't ascend without them. We have to ascend them, integrate them, bring them closer to us. So check your birth chart to see what area of your life Chiron governs and the energies that Chiron has to support and oppose it. I feel like it's extremely important. Awareness is key. So keep a close eye on this aspect of yourself, because again, this aspect of yourself is your wounded inner child or a fragment of it. And how should we comfort an emotionally wounded child? We parent it, right? Maybe not the way that your parents parented you, but the way that you wished to be parented, or the way that you would parent your children. We become the mother and the father. We give it what it needs when it needs it, whether it be love, support, understanding, gentleness, guidance, encouragement, structure, discipline, order, right? The mother and the father. Becoming more aware and involved with this aspect or these aspects of ourselves is how we ascend it and bring it closer to us, right? This is inner child healing, soul retrieval, and integration. So the next aspect is Chiron square the moon. We have Chiron retrograde in Aries squaring our moon. A square is a challenging aspect. It's very difficult. It doesn't feel good. It can be aggressive, forceful, and cutting. A square creates tension, conflict, and pressure. Lots of pressure, all in the name of growth, right? A square creates this tension until something pops, right? Until something changes, until something is produced. So there's tension between a deep wound and our automatic tendency to emotionally react to that wound being triggered. This tension is creating a boiling point that will produce a result. The good news is we get to decide the result. There's an option here, like a silver lining opportunity to choose a new path, to choose a new way, to choose a new reaction. And we choose by utilizing or incorporating our awareness, observing everything, right? Observing the triggers, the external triggers, and how we are moved to react to them. I'm getting like temperance energy. Temperance is Sagittarian energy. And there's a trio here with Sagittarius. First it's the Scorpio, and then Sagittarius, and then Capricorn. This energy, this combination of energy is like walking through the valley of shadows, being tested, being tempted, and then finally making it to the mountain, right? Or ascending the mountain, reaching the mountaintop. Scorpio is connected to Pluto, and Pluto is the underworld or our inner realm, or it's the lower dimensions of our internal world. Pluto, it's the muck. So Sagittarius energy is pulling ourselves out of that muck, right? Pulling ourselves out of Scorpio, because Sagittarius comes after Scorpio. Sagittarius is about alignment, harmonizing, alchemizing, balancing our internal energies, mediating so that we can move towards our goal or move towards the mountain with clarity, alignment, and purpose. So there's a silver lining opportunity in this energy, and I feel like Mercury is trying to get this information to us using people outside of us as like signals, confirmation, blueprints, showing us proof, living proof. Like, hey, if this person can do it, then so can you. This is the way, this is the blueprint, this is the path, right? Hey, look over here. Maybe that's triggering. So we have the sun in Libra. Traditionally, the sun is the self, the personality, and the outward expression. The sun is the aspect of us that everyone sees first, right? It's how the world perceives us. It's the world's first impression of us. But esoterically, we talked about this, the sun reveals the integrated personality and illuminates all the work that's been going on behind the scenes. In the moon, because remember the order is the moon and then the sun. So So the sun reveals and illuminates our internal world, right? You know how they say our external reality is a reflection of our internal world? This is the sun and the moon working together. When the pathway is clear, the moon is the pathway. Remember, the moon is pathway in which spiritual energy is delivered to the sun, to reach the sun. So when the pathway is clear, spiritual energies move freely from the spiritual realm through the moon to the sun for revelation. It's a smooth process, and this can manifest as like receiving an idea, receiving some sort of divine insight, divine inspiration, and you're like, oh, this is it. Maybe some insecurities, some of those moon energies, they come up, but you're like, no, this is it. And then you move in that direction, right? You put that idea into action, and then boom, you see immediate results. Because things work out and manifest quickly when there's no internal interference and when the moon doesn't distort, right? Manipulate. So the sun in Libra. Libra is the holistic principle of partnerships and finding the right relationship between opposites and duality. In the tarot, Libra is the scales of justice. So it's like balance, equilibrium, harmony. It's fairness, justice, and like mediation, finding the noble middle path and leading with that. Libra's mantra is I choose, which talks about choosing the right fit and making choices to establish and restore balance. Does this fit harmoniously or not? Is this fair, true, and just for me or not, right? It's like weighing the scales, right? Weighing, adjusting, releasing, integrating. So the sun in Libra is going to be putting a spotlight on our contracts, partnerships, and these are going to be contracts with ourselves and contracts with others. The contracts with ourselves are these these automatic emotional responses to triggers. That's a contract with ourselves. So contracts with ourselves and contracts with others. This can manifest as an extremely obvious imbalance, whether this imbalance be within yourself or with others. This imbalance is extremely obvious with the sun here in Libra. It can't be ignored, and now we're compelled to make a choice that can possibly like shatter an old paradigm, shatter an old partnership, or shatter an old pattern. This can also manifest as the revelation of new contracts, new spiritually aligned contracts with our soul family. These new contracts can be like our karmic justice coming in, or like a karmic adjustment coming in after we've done the work to change the focus and the direction of our internal energies. So the last aspect that I want to talk about is going to be the sun in Libra trine Uranus and Gemini. This is where I feel like there's a bit of like magic or spiritual assistance or things that happen that are outside of our control, because Uranus here is the planet of radical reorientation, and Uranus is the esoteric ruler of Libra. So Uranus is going to shake things up, shake things loose, reorganize our plans, and reorient our life, all in the name of Libra, justice, right? Uranus wants to make sure that our lives are a reflection of our choices and reveal our true essence, our internal energies. Uranus changes things up to make sure that as within, so without, our external reality is a match to our internal energies, our moon. So a trine is a harmonious aspect. So the energies here between the sun and Uranus, they're at ease, they're flowing and communicating well together. So this is a positive silver lining. This combination of energy is producing a bit of luck or magic to assist us with our manifestations. And Uranus is in Gemini, so this could be like lightning information or new information, communication that causes a big change that restores balance, harmony, and justice in your life. So we have the sun and Uranus working in perfect harmony together to facilitate positive change. This energy, remember, there's duality and polarity, right? And there are different densities. So this energy can also manifest as upheaval and just like complete pandemonium. Remember that Uranus is a rule breaker. Uranus doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't follow your plans. And he will not hesitate to flip your life upside down so that a divine plan can manifest, right? So that your external reality is an accurate reflection of your internal world. So this is the astrology for the next couple of days as we move into the weekend. I'll be back here on Friday to do another one of these reports, but as for now, I'm gonna get into some tarot to see if we can channel any more messages, advice, clarity, guidance for the highest good of everyone involved here. Okay, I'm gonna start out here with the tarot. Any confirming messages, Spirit? Messages of confirmation. We have the Four of Cups, the first card out. We have the Magician. The Four of Cups talks about longing for some sort of emotional stability. It also talks about wanting something that you feel like you can't have, or maybe feeling like you missed an opportunity. This could also be like pessimism, feeling pessimistic about something, about life, about emotional energies, about love. We've got the Magician. The Magician is a card of alchemy and utilizing, harmonizing all of the elements to create internal balance, and as within, so without. The Magician talks about becoming a clear channel for energy, spiritual energy, to pass through you and be made manifest. So maybe there are some feelings of maybe pessimism, lower dimensional expressions of Capricorn energy, boredom, feeling unfulfilled, unenthused. There's an opportunity for purification here. Oh yeah, we've got the Five of Wands and the Three of Swords. The Five of Wands is the conflict. The Five of Wands, this is all the squares. All those energies squaring your moon, your Chiron with the Three of Swords. All of those challenging, opposing, conflicting, harsh, sharp energies squaring your Three of Swords, your Chiron, your moon energies. We've got the Five of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles peeking out here. Five of Swords talks about overcoming adversity, moving on to calmer waters, taking your lessons with you, moving on with clarity, moving on to the Ten of Pentacles. Maybe this is the way. Tell me about the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups We've got crying man / woman. Crying man. Crying man, yeah, feeling low. The Four of Cups is one of those lower dimensional emotional energies. Feeling low, feeling like what you want is so far away, or like you can't have what it is that you want, you can't reach it, it's unattainable. Longing for it. We do have Lilith in Scorpio, so this is that deep desire. It's in Scorpio right now. Lilith, that deep desire, that deep craving is in Scorpio. Crying man, woman, and then we have divine order. Divine order is step by step. There's a divine order to all things. First this, then that, then that, then that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Divine order also talks about not getting ahead of yourself. Not getting ahead of yourself, not rushing ahead. Slowing down so that a higher plan, the grand scheme, can manifest. Or maybe this Four of Cups energy is a part of the grand scheme, a higher plan. Maybe it's like a little test, an emotional test, to see if you can overcome this hump, over the hump. We've got ritual at the bottom of the deck. Practice regularly until results are formed, integrated, and manifested. Practice regularly until these results are integrated. Maybe you are in this energy, right? This Four of Cups energy. Maybe you just want to go. You want to go? Like Capricorn. Capricorn just wants to go, right? Capricorn doesn't like being in the moon. Step by step, so that every aspect is touched, or everything that needs to be seen is seen, so that you can move. It's better, like slow and steady wins the race, right? It's better to move slowly and be aware of these energies than to rush ahead and then be tripped up by these energies, because then you have to start over anyway. Ritual, practiced regularly until results are formed, integrated. So maybe we're here integrating a lesson. Tell me about the Magician. For your own good, veiled by the moon. This could be veiled by the moon. Veiled by the moon. The Magician is veiled by the moon. So your ability to manifest, to channel, is veiled by the moon, cloaked, submerged. It's like your frequency is concealed. Your frequency is concealed by the moon. Mercury can't find you. Mercury can't find you. We've got side effects: melancholy, sadness. Sadness without an obvious cause. Maybe that's this energy, melancholy. Sadness without an obvious cause. You don't know why you're sad. You don't know why you're sad. At the bottom of the deck, we've got Rabbit. Good luck, new beginnings, abundance, fertility, hope, intuition, sensitivity, adaptability. Maybe this is what's veiled by the moon, or this is what's trying to manifest for you. Tell me about the Five of Wands. Spiritual fog. Can't see. Unanchored. Floating. Seeking. Panic. Panic. crisis moon. Don't panic. Don't panic. Move slow. Slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like it's get comfortable in this step. Get comfortable here. When you're comfortable here, then you become the master. When you're comfortable in this dimension, then you can see, right? You become a master of this dimension. That way, when these energies come back around, they don't trip you up because you've already mastered something. I feel like Spirit is wanting you to sit in this energy, this sadness. Maybe you don't understand why you're sad, but it's a part of some higher plan, the grand scheme. Maybe your soul wants you to integrate this lesson so that you can ascend, you can level up. Okay, tell me about the Five of Wands. We've got reconciliation, second chance. Maybe this is like past energies. Of course it is, right? Maybe it's like let's keep the focus on us. Let's keep the focus internal, because I feel like that's where the gold is. That's where the gems are, internal. We can focus on the external all day, but it doesn't change anything inside of us, right? So let's keep the focus inward. These are, I feel like these are your Chiron energies, your moon energies, maybe coming back around. The cycle is just going to repeat until you finally master it, right? That way when the cycle comes back around, maybe you'll know to jump instead of duck, or dodge left instead of dodge right, and then you can navigate these energies. These energies won't trip you up. Reconciliation, second chance. We've got love equals life. Love is the water that nourishes and nurtures all of creation. Flowing love and happiness equals flowing creativity and inspiration. The way forward is through the heart chakra. I feel like Spirit might be trying to get you to ascend through the heart chakra. If you think about our chakra systems, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, is going to be those lower dimensional energies, our internal lower dimensional energies. But as we make our way up to and through the heart chakra, then we start to ascend into the higher dimensions. So this could be another opportunity. I'm also getting Page of Pentacles here, right? Respawning into the game with carried over wisdom to help you alchemize some sort of Three of Swords energy, Saturn and Libra, a hard lesson in love or hard lesson when it comes to matters of the heart. The way forward is through the heart chakra, says Spirit. Sometimes the heart chakra is so blocked, right? It's so blocked that it prevents us from ascending into higher dimensions. We need love, like that card said. We need love to create what it is that our soul desires to create, right? Even if it's not sharing love with someone else, although that's like optimal energy that we can use for manifesting love, sharing love, giving love, receiving love. We can channel that energy into creating, and then we create beautiful things that are infused with love. But even if it's not sharing love with someone else, it's just it could be like mastering these lessons in love or these lessons of the heart. Maybe you don't want a partner, but it's not because you're afraid of conflict, or it's not because you feel insecure or small, or it's not because you don't want to be hurt again, but it's because your soul doesn't feel like you need to experience partnership in this lifetime, or whatever. It could be anything, right? Tell me about the Three of Swords. We've got Rabbit coming back out. Good luck. Yeah, so this is, this Three of Swords energy is like a block. Let's see if we can see what's on the other side. It's this, whatever's on the other side is this. Good luck, new beginnings, abundance, growth. Can we get a tarot for the other side? No. Okay, tell me about what's on the other side of this. No. Okay, what about this one? What about this one? Tell me what's on the other side of this. We've got conditioning. Conditioning talks about being a lion in sheep's clothing. A lion cloaked as a sheep. A lion's energy. Lion is the sun, right? Your sun, your signal, your outward expression is cloaked, veiled. It's hidden, it's disguised. Your frequency is concealed here. We've got the Ten of Rainbows. The Ten of Rainbows talks about finally completing a cycle. These are cycles that have been carried over through lifetimes, right? Finally completing a cycle, and we are the world. Aligning yourself with your people. Gaining access to a new collective consciousness. Your people are here. We've got collective, group, service to others. Yeah, I feel like this is like soul family. But this is the hump that we have to overcome. Let's get an overall message and then we'll get out of here. Overall or closing message, please, Spirit. We've got sacredness, the temple, number 39. This card talks about holiness, but it's internal, the temple. The holiness, the purity, the sacredness of our inner world, our internal realm, is going to be what attracts, what projects outwardly. The sun is our integrated personality, and it's also a frequency that the universe can communicate with, right? Right now, the universe may be communicating with these frequencies here: internal conflict, heartbreak, heartache, densities, emotional densities that influence your future, sadness, melancholy. Yeah, we want to purify our internal energies so that the universe can have another or a new frequency to communicate with. The universe can see us. Deflection, averter of evil, protecting your internal realm, right? Protecting yourself, deflecting projections, negative projections, projections that send you in a spiral. Protecting the holiness, the sacredness of your internal realm. The final card here is Crux. It's a gateway, multiple gateways, multiple choices, multiple options. We've got the lower realm, the middle realm, and the higher realm. An initiation. It's like a threshold. The choices and actions determine whether we ascend, descend, or stay stagnant, right? I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I hope this message was helpful, provided some clarity, guidance, or entertainment, right? Please give a like if you like, and I'll see you guys on the next one.